This is the 9th day of kefir, and today we're going to make coconut kefir eggnog. I made this last year at a class. I called it my Cultured Food Christmas class, and we had a lot of fun. We made some Christmas food, and this was one of the things that I made that everybody loved. I am an eggnog fanatic. I wait all year long to have eggnog because you just don't want eggnog in summertime. It loses its appeal. But I remember as a little girl, I watched the Christmas Carol and they were toasting and drinking eggnog. And from that day to this day, I wait all year to drink eggnog. And I buy a special jug. I bought this several years ago to put eggnog in because it says eggnog on it. So this is my jug and we're gonna make it today. And I use stevia in it, so it's sugar-free. It's also got coconut milk in it, so it makes it have an extra rich flavor. So what you're gonna need to make coconut kefir eggnog is you're gonna need really good eggs from pasture-raised chickens. You're gonna need egg yolks, 4 of them. You're gonna need a cup of kefir. You're gonna need 3½ cups of coconut milk. And you're gonna need a cup of cream. You're also gonna need a sweetener. I like stevia, but you can certainly use honey or even maple syrup. I have some almond extract here and some rum vanilla and a little bit of nutmeg to grate on the top of your eggnog. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to whip some cream into whipped cream. So you're going to need a cup of cream and you're going to have to place this in a mixer and you're going to whip it, but we're going to whip it while we're making the other parts of it too. So you just place a cup of cream into your mixer with a whisk. You need a whisk. You can do it by hand, but it just takes a while. So we're going to use my handy KitchenAid. Start out at a slow speed and then you get higher, so just so it doesn't splatter, because it tends to splatter in the beginning. But just as it starts to thicken, then you can turn it up. And while that's going, we're going to go ahead and get some egg yolks for our eggnog. Now, the thing about this is this is raw egg yolks, so you want really healthy pasture-raised chickens to use your egg yolks from, because there's more risk if you have the ones at the store. When your chickens are healthy, you're fine. I eat egg yolks all the time, but I make sure my chickens are healthy. So we're going to take our blender and I'm going to put the egg yolks in the blender and the egg whites in the dish. And you're going to want 4 of them. This is what gives eggnog its flavor, are the egg yolks. And you know, I have different colored eggs all year round because I get my eggs from a farmer and they have different kinds of chickens. So I like the blue and the green. It really is the type of chicken that lays the eggs. It really doesn't make the eggs taste different, but the one thing that you need to know about eggs is that the more yellow your yolk, that means the more protein and good nutrition that the chicken has. So this time of year, the chickens tend to slow down laying eggs because it's cold outside, so they kind of go through a period where they don't like to lay as much. But the yolks, if you can get a yolk that's orange, like the sunset, you know you have a really high nutrient dense egg. Okay, this takes about normally 5 minutes to whip. So, and you can tell because it'll be stiff and you can see it kind of clump up. We're going to leave that right here. Now we're going to add the rest of the ingredients to the blender and then we're going to mix that into the eggnog when it's done. But you're going to need a cup of kefir, just regular kefir. Okay. So now you're going to add 3½ cups of coconut milk. This kind of gives it a really good richness that you don't get the kind of flavor that you do in regular eggnog that you do with this. It makes it spectacular. This is like the best eggnog you'll ever have. So it's a lot, but it's going to serve quite a few people. And what's nice about this is this keeps fermenting in your refrigerator, so it really is really probiotic after about 2 or 3 more days. So, and then I like to use stevia. I am not somebody who eats tons of sugar, so whenever I can and it tastes good, I try to use stevia. And this, you can get different brands. This one is a powder form, but there's liquid forms, and if you like it, it's really, really good. So I'm going to use a tablespoon of it, and it comes in packages, and sometimes it comes in a liquid form too. Actually, I'm going to use 2 tablespoons. You can make it as sweet as you want, or as, non-sweet as you want. And you can also use honey, and actually maple syrup tastes good too. And you can use about 1/4 of a cup of either one of those to a 1/2 cup, just depending on how sweet you like it. Next, we're going to use some almond extract, and we're going to use about a teaspoon. It really, really gives it a good flavor. I like to use almond extract also in pistachio kefir ice cream. That's really good. And also, next we're going to do, this is my homemade rum vanilla. You can find this on my site. And this is just vanilla beans and rum that I let ferment on my counter for a couple of months. And you can still see the beans in here. But wow, is it good. And I'm going to use 1/4 a cup of that. And that's what gives it that flavor of eggnog that everybody likes so much. And then we're just gonna put this in the blender and mix it up real quick, just till it's blended. And then the best part of all is we are going to put the whipping cream into the blender here. We'll put this into the mixer, and we're going to just kind of fold the whipped cream into it. You can see it, just so you don't lose all the air in it. And so people get like hunks of whipping cream into their eggnog. It kind of makes it really festive. People like it. They think they're getting something special. And then I kind of put it back in the blender to let it pour out. And sometimes you can just pulse it for just a second on the blender, just to get the whipped cream to smooth out just a little bit, not a lot. Maybe just a couple pulses. And there it is. And then the best part of all are the little flakes of nutmeg. But you gotta get real nutmeg, because real nutmeg tastes 1,000 times better than the stuff you buy already mixed up in little spices. So we're gonna put a little bit of freshly grated nutmeg on top, because you gotta have the specks. It's not real eggnog if you don't have the specks. And this is coconut kefir eggnog. It's really, really good.